Hello and welcome, survivors! In today's video, we're going to try something a little crazy. I'm going to attempt to get back inside the Baron's castle in Dying Light: The Beast. Now, I've already fully completed the game, but I was really curious to see what actually happens if you try to return to these restricted areas, the castle, and even the final boss fight location. So let's jump straight into it, and I'll show you exactly how I tried breaking back in. I tried the exact same route we used during the mission itself. So first of all, I came back to the same location where our last mission begins. After that, I headed toward the cave located at the bottom of the castle mountain. When I reached there, you can actually see the C4 blast mark from the mission, the same one we detonated earlier. I passed through that broken wall and continued climbing all the way to the top of the castle. You've got to do some serious parkour. And a bit of cave crawling along the way. I honestly thought, okay, this has to be the one, since all the paths I was moving through were the exact same as in the mission. It took some time, but by following the same route we used during the quest, I finally managed to reach the very top, right where the main door is. So here's what actually happens when you try to open it. Wait, what? What's the use of this interact button if we can't even open the door? Seriously, all that hard work and those parkours just went completely in vain. So after seeing this betrayal, I decided to take matters into my own hands. Which, by the way, you definitely shouldn't try at home. I guess you know what I mean. So I used that method and gave Kyle Crane some extraterrestrial powers to move through the fourth dimension. And when I crossed the door using that trick, I found myself in the same cutscene location where we first enter the castle and take down the Baron's sniper. After that, I tried to open the doors of the castle, but sadly, there wasn't a single one I could even interact with. Every door was completely locked. When I was about to lose hope, I went back to the front entrance, the same door we used to enter the castle during the mission. I thought, all right, this might be my chance. So I went there and, surprisingly, even found an interact button. But when I tried to open the door, this happened again. After getting frustrated, I started roaming around the castle, trying to find any possible entrance. While exploring, I came across this location, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful spots in the entire game. Here, I noticed that the castle's model isn't fully complete, so I tried to sneak through the area and even jumped down, hoping to find a way inside. But sadly, after the recent Hotfix update, Techland patched this glitch. You can't go through this area anymore. If you try, you'll just end up getting stuck. I even tried to move out of that spot, but I couldn't. So yeah, Techland, you really fixed this one. And not just this, before the hotfix, if you came to this spot inside the bushes, there used to be an empty space that allowed players to enter the castle, as shown by another YouTuber. But Techland patched that too, adding a locked door to completely restrict players from entering the area. Once you enter the area, you'll notice that the models of the castle and the surrounding hill are incomplete. I even tried using the grappling hook to get through the unfinished parts and enter the castle, but that didn't work either. So eventually, I had to use the no-clip method again to make my way inside the castle. So after entering the interior of the castle using no-clip, it turns out the place is completely silent. There's literally no one around. I guess after we took them all down, they just didn't want to mess with Crane anymore. They know what happens when he shows up. I tried interacting with a few doors, but of course, none of them worked. Then I remembered there was an elevator here during one of the missions, so I decided to check that out too. I looked around at all the other doors nearby, same story, no interaction prompt. I even tried using the lift itself, but that didn't work either. I'm pretty sure that's the one that normally takes you to the boss fight area. That's when I realized something strange. The actual boss fight doesn't even take place around this part of the castle. Normally, you'd use the elevator and get teleported straight into the fight. But since the castle's interior model isn't fully complete, the game just loads a different area during the cutscene. So I decided to go hunting for the real boss fight location. And guess what? I actually found it on this location of the map. So I used NoClip once again to reach that area. As I was getting closer to the boss fight area, another model suddenly popped up in front of me. So I thought, all right, let's check this one out first. When I went inside, it actually turned out to be the same red wedding. The meeting location from the final part of the game. I tried disabling NoClip to explore the area normally, but for some reason, every time I turned it off, Kyle just instantly died and respawned at a completely different spot on the map. I have no idea why that happened. I even tried it a couple more times, but the same thing kept repeating. Death and respawn at the exact same location. After that, I came out of that spot and finally reached the boss fight area. The first thing I noticed was that the environment had changed. There was no snow here like in the final mission against the Baron. But from a distance, I spotted two character models just standing still. When I got closer, I realized it was Aiden Caldwell and the Baron's monster form right there together. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. When I examined Aiden's model closely, I found Lydia inside him. Or, well, you could say Aiden was inside Lydia. Not like that. But yeah, it's definitely strange that they both ended up clipping into each other after the ending. Jokes aside, to explain this glitch properly, the models for Aiden and Lydia are placed at the exact same coordinates, which causes them to overlap. It looked hilarious, but it made me wonder why the devs left these models here in the first place. My guess is, since there's no direct path to reach this area without using mods or NoClip, they probably didn't bother removing or finishing it. So I decided to blow them up to see what happens if I do that. So I started planting C4 bombs near them. Why? Just because it's fun. But when I triggered the detonator, nothing happened. Since these were just NPC models, you can't interact with them or kill them. One thing that really blew my mind was the scenery. It was absolutely breathtaking. Just have a look at this. I even managed to find the same door through which Kyle and Aiden entered this area during the final encounter with the Baron. So I decided to head inside, but I couldn't get through the small gap between the doors. So once again, I used NoClip to get in. And guess what? I found something I honestly didn't expect. A bunch of loot scattered around. But the most interesting part? I actually found a legendary flamethrower in there. That completely blew my mind. An area that's not even accessible without mods giving this kind of loot is just insane. Maybe I missed it during the mission, and it's been left behind since then. Either way, that was an incredible discovery in itself. So yeah, guys, that's all for today's video and the findings I wanted to share. I really hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support the channel and help me bring you more awesome content, from hidden details to crazy Easter eggs, you can use the Super Thanks feature to show your support. Even a small contribution makes a huge difference and helps me keep creating high-quality videos for you all. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Survivors, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.